One of the things that make you exposed is what facing the public. So we're going to listen today how you can face the public. It's not easy. It's not easy. Me, if I go, I'll clean up my sweat now. It's not easy. So please join me in welcoming Chidi Otume Hansi to the public speaking. Please go for him. Go for him.
Good evening. Alright, it's a privilege here. I want to start by saying that when you hear public speech, a lot of us, when you hear public speaking, the first thing that happens, your heart just leaps. And every public speaker, some of us think, who are great speakers? How did they become great? What happened to them? Why is it that Barack Obama can speak like this? Why is it that when you listen to Malcolm X, when you listen to Martin Luther King, they call them great speakers? And you're wondering, how can I be like this? What is public speaking? Before I start, I would like to have maybe one medical student, one technical, and one student from economics. Maybe I'll call Bidemi, please come. Please come to the front. Mr. President, please come. Thank you very much. Okay, what is public speaking? Let me start that. Besides, the CV, the speech, the teaching on the CV was very wonderful, but I never want to write the CV. I don't like writing CV. So I don't think I pray I don't write the CV, but I don't know. Now, if you talk about public speaking, what is public speaking? It simply means talking to an organized set of people, a group of people, a coordinated people, and that is public speech, like what we are doing here. What I'm doing here is public speaking. What Makama was doing, what every other person here did, was public speaking. Now the problem is, how do I go about this? Many people wonder, how do I speak in public? Is it a magical thing? Is it very difficult? Like, how do they do it? Like, what are they saying? How do they compose themselves? Now, they compose themselves as based on certain principles that govern public speaking. The first thing you should know is who is speaking. Now, when we talk about who is speaking, that person will be you, could be someone else. The next thing is to whom. Now, most people, the problem they have with public speaking is not fear of standing. It's the fear of not knowing what to say, or not knowing how to say it. That is the major fear about public speaking. It's not the fear of people. Yeah, some people have phobias of people. But the major fear is what to say. Even if you know what to say, how do I say it? Now, when I say to whom is me, as I am now speaking. To whom? It means who am I speaking to? Now, to be a good public speaker, you have to understand to whom you are speaking to. Why? You have to understand based on gender, academic qualification, or academic start at the level they've achieved in life. Age. Let me give an example. If I'm to speak to market women, we all know market women in Africa. If I have a national conference of market women, and they call me, maybe it's later in the future, I become a professor of medicine, and they say, I should come and speak. I am a professor, and I'm speaking to who? Market women. It's one. I'm a professor in medicine, and I'm speaking to medical students. Two. I'm a professor in medicine, and I'm speaking to bankers. Three. What is the difference? Why am I setting these examples? Because sometimes public speaking becomes very boring. Sometimes the aim of speaking is defeated because you don't understand. The speaker did not understand to whom he's speaking to. Now, if I'm speaking to primary school people, if I'm speaking to children in primary school, my terminologies will change. Am I correct? Yes. So a good speaker must know when to use the right terminology, should know what terminology, or what words, what things you should say to a particular set of people. If I'm speaking to a primary school student and I come to use the word idiosyncrasy, and I'm telling them the paper is just tabula rasa, the child is not understanding because the first aim of public speaking is what? Passing a message, is giving information. Now that child or those people will not understand what I'm trying to say. Now I want to give an example now. Three of you please listen to me. Listen to me very, very well. I want to give an example. Yesterday, I went to see an otorhinolaryngologist. Teddy, what did I say?
I can hear you.
Yesterday, I went to see an otorhinolaryngologist. What did I say?
Otorhino what?
Do you understand what I said?
You went to see somebody yesterday. Person I don't
No, do you understand what I said?
No, I understood your action.
You don't understand what I said? Who is that person?
Person has to do with otolaryngologist.
Okay. Now, among the three of them, I said otorhinolaryngologist. Teddy said he understood what I said. No, he could hear me, but he did not understand. No one said he only understood my gesture. Benjamin said he knows and he said what it meant. What am I trying to say? If I am speaking to a particular set of people, my words should change. If I'm speaking to people and I want to tell them, I want to see that kind of doctor, it's better to say, I want to see an ear doctor. Or to see ear, nose, and throat doctor. Now, everybody here understands what nose, ear, and throat means. Did I communicate?
Yes.
But if among the three, if I was just speaking, only Bidemi would have understood what I meant. Now, when the crowd, when your people, your audience don't understand you, they get lost. As a good public speaker, you must carry your audience along at every given time. Now, how do you do this? Whatever example you are giving should be relevant to that topic. Should be relevant to the set of people you are speaking to. I don't need to speak complex English when I'm talking to children from high school, or when I'm seated among professors. I am permitted to use words, giant or mighty words. This is womb. This is womb. Now I'm considering the effects. How do I do this? Now I know I am speaking. I know to whom I am speaking. Now I'm asking, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? Where am I saying what I'm saying? And what is the effect that it will have? The way I speak in church is different from the way I speak in the mosque. If I get an invitation today and they say, Professor so and so, please, the National Association of Atheists, would like to have you speak to them based on your qualification or based on your achievement, in business, based on your achievement in this, we'll be honored to have you. And we'll be honored if you honor our invitation. And I say, I honor. I'm coming to the National Association of Atheists. And I'm a Christian. I'm born again. I know that they are atheists. And I come to that place. Maybe because when I preach, I have a particular kind of song I sing. And I come there, I'm giving them a speech. And they start, sweet Jesus, sweet, And I say, okay, let us pray. What do you think the effect of the atheists will be in the first instance? They begin to lose interest. If you care not taking, some people will begin to walk out. Why? Because I did not understand I was coming to speak what? To atheists. So when I'm coming to speak to atheists, is it appropriate that I pray? Or no, as a good public speaker? It is not. It is inappropriate to pray. If I should pray before I get to the stage. Why? Because I am not communicating. They don't understand what I'm about to do. If you are speaking to women, you need to talk about feminine issues. When you are bringing example of main issues, it should be relevant to the topic. A public speaker should learn how to what? Stay on point. Because when you're on point, you keep on what? Building the attention of your audience. The attention of the audience should be a priority to the speaker. Now, how does the speaker know what's going on in the audience? Eye-to-eye contact. The speaker must be able to observe what he's saying, the effect of what he's saying. A good speaker, when he's saying something, when he's saying a point, and it becomes boring, it is best for him to switch. If a speaker is giving an example, I'm giving an example here, and people are not getting what I'm saying. To be a good speaker, I will switch to something that people will follow me on. So when you understood who, to whom, what you're talking about, what you're talking about. If they call me as a medical doctor and they say, come and talk on oil and gas, and I come to stand here, and I tell you, last night I was in a surgery, a patient of 32 years had appendicitis, and I performed an appendectomy, and then the patient, and I begin to use something that's what's irrelevant to oil and gas. Now, it doesn't matter my profession. Now, being a good speaker is not limited to a profession. It is not limited to become like you're a doctor. No, it doesn't matter. You're a nurse, you're an engineer, it doesn't matter. If you understand this point, who, what, the effect, how do I pass my message, then you can become a good speaker. Now, when you know the relevant time, when you should use the relevant terminologies, the set of people you're talking with. I gave these three people now something, and one person got it. Let me ask another question. What is HTML? You know, when you open your internet, you say HTML. What does it mean? You don't have an idea.
I used to say, but I don't.
Tell me, maybe have you tried before? Do you have an idea?
A little hypertext something.
Hypertext. No, can you tell us what it is?
Hypertext markup language.
He said it is. If I were to be an engineer and I come to the public and I said the HTML, or I say the IC, I know there's in computer electronics something called IC. IC, I don't know what it is, maybe something inside. Now, if you come to say IC as a medical student, I will start intracellular. Give me another example of IC. Intensive care. Intracranial. You see, I begin to say things, I begin to understand things my own way. A good speaker does not give the public to understand things the way they want. You want them to understand it the way it is. That's why most people go out and say, this is what I think. It shouldn't be what you think. Don't make people think what you think. Make them know what you're saying. So when you use the correct terminology at the right place, nobody will begin, what did he mean? What did he mean by IC? Maybe intravenous, maybe something like that, and then you begin to wonder. So a good speaker makes sure that whatever he says is relevant to the set of people. Now, the effect, and how to elicit that effect, how to bring about that effect. How? What is my method? What am I going to use? How am I going to do this? I want to speak to children. I'm going to talk to children. What is the children like? What can I catch their attention with? What do I do? If I'm going to speak to children, I bring about things like toys. Am I correct? I put things like toys around. We met the teachers that when you want to collect a child, or want to examine a child, when the child is playing with you, allow the child. Sometimes give the child a stethoscope. And the child becomes what? At ease. The child he begins to play with what, and you're using another thing, and you're checking, you're doing your thing while he does his own thing, or his own thing. So that is what it is. You watch the crowd, you know what you're talking about, you know how to pass this information. Am I using graphics? If I'm using graphics, if I'm using a projector, am I involving numbers, pie charts, and things like that? I'm showing women that don't know how to read pie charts. And what is the other one that's long?
Bar chart.
Bar chart. And they don't know what it is. Market women, they don't know what it is. Now, it might be wonderful, it might be good. In public speaking, it's not what is good for you that's the best. It is what is good for the public that is the best. Anyone that can carry the crowd along is a good speaker. When they got a motivational speaker, it is just that the man knows what to say, how to say it, and where to say it. That's what the motivational speaker is. When Barack Obama speaks, he will go to Turkey and will motivate them and they will shout or hate him because he's saying things that are relevant to people that was in Turkey. When he comes to Africa, he will say something and they shout. It's not because he's so super, because he knows what do I say, to whom am I speaking to, and how do I say it. Now, in public speaking, I know there's some sort of this. There's fear. There's stage fright. Am I correct? There's stage fright. But let me tell you that I don't think it matters. For those of us that have been speaking in public for long, you know that even when you are used to public speaking, the first time they call you again for to speak in public is naturally how to swim. You are not afraid. It's not like you're not, you've been doing it. But let us welcome and your heart first does tachycardia, increased heart rates, and before you know, okay, you are calm. Public speaking comes with exposure. Somebody was talking about exposure here. The first time I spoke in public was when I preached. I was like 7 or 8. I was talking the topic in Bible, when I was a child. And if I can remember myself, I remember the first time I spoke, I messed up. It wasn't coordinated. I was a child. But subsequently, I kept on what? Building. What am I going to? In public speaking, you grow. You grow. And always give yourself the opportunity to learn. Always give the opportunity to face the crowd. If you face the crowd once and you flop, you will go back and reconsider. When you're facing the crowd the next time, you will do better. When you're facing the 3rd time, the 4th time, the 5th time, you become better. Don't always say until I become better, until I build my confidence. There's no appropriate time to build your confidence. Exposure matters. It is the best antidote for stage fright. There are many drugs they give you, anti-anxiety, if I don't stop worrying with medical drugs, they give you for stage fright. But the best antidote, the psychologist will tell you, take the person there. If this brother is afraid of snake, and I want to cure him of that phobia, it's not drugs. Take him to a room full of snakes, drop him there and lock the door. By the time he shouts and cries, nobody opens the door, he sees that there's nothing else he can do. He will sit down. The next day, you do that to him. If he stays there for 2 weeks, he'll say, aha, these snakes don't harm. That is the best way to settle stage fright. So stop saying, until I become 35, maybe I will go for public speech school and things like that. No. When you have the opportunity, you use it, learn, make your mistakes, and work on it. Thank you very much.
Well, I believe you all have your questions, right? But before then, first of all, I'll see if we have questions targeted to what we've learned today, the presentations. Then just some few, then we'll give rooms for questions to our special guests. But before then, somebody has a presentation. Please, 2 minutes, and if I say 2 minutes, I mean 2 minutes. Please, let us join me and welcome Grace for her presentation. Announcements. Oh, sorry. Announcements. Okay, so I'll make it 1 minute, 15 seconds.
Good evening, everyone. My announcement concerns Campus Read, a program organized by a number of people. My office please the NSA, our sponsors, friends and family, and every participant. Now, Campus Raid comes up on the 21st of April, Peremohadim at the center, Shevchenka Divinasset Sim 27. And the time for the program is 2 to 6 p.m. Now I want to give you a quick rundown on what the program is about. We're going to have several events, talent show, singing category, dancing category, whatever it is that you do that is special, we want to see it because I know we have a lot of talent in Ternopil. Also, we have makeup competition. We're going to take it like, it's going to be a backstage thing. We'll judge the makeup artists from the models. We're going to have battle of the sexes between the male and the female. We want to know who knows who better. The guys will answer questions concerning the girls, and the girls answer questions concerning the guys. We're also going to have cultural dance exhibition. We don't want to lose track of where we came from, so we want to always keep ourselves informed of how well we are in touch with our grassroots. We're going to have modeling, product and service exhibition, whatever it is you sell, whatever it is you do, and you want us to know. You can bring it forward on that day. We'll give you time, to speak about it. Also, we're going to launch a website, Close Reaction. It's a trade website, it's a social network website. You can do a lot of stuff, you can listen to comedy music, you can advertise whatever you have to sell, whatever it is you do. Do you make hair? Do you cut hair? Do you sew clothes? Do you design? Whatever. Also, we're going to be collecting contributions to charity. It's a thing of choice. We've been collecting things, clothes, whatever it is you have, you want to give out, shoes, money. We'll be doing that on Sunday, not on that particular day. And there'll also be surprise packages, performances, coverage from media houses in and outside Ukraine. So I'm encouraging all of you to just come and be entertained. We want to really, really entertain you that day in several different ways. And there's a gate fee, 50 hryvnias. So please, tickets are ready. You can contact me or Troy or Fola Shade, Leke. Yeah, numbers are on the posters on Facebook. So please, I'm encouraging you to come out for the program and be entertained. Thank you very much.
I will give you 10 seconds. Okay, please. Uche, over to you.
Good evening. I just want to share an event that we'll be organizing next week. The event will be organized by Global African Dialogue, and it's a one-day symposium on how informal education can foster development in Africa. I believe most of us here are Africans. So, and right now we are engaging in informal education. We also made this announcement during the African Youth Summit, and these are like the kind of events that they're under the term informal education, and they can give you, we've talked about exposure, skills, knowledge. So when you engage in these kind of things, we'll be discussing different things, how you can go back home and impact into others through informal education, not just the four walls of the university or high schools and so on. So we'll be having some experts who will be sharing some light on informal education, and also it will be an open forum where everyone will be able to contribute and give their opinions on informal education. The venue of the events will be at the Technical University, room 58, Ruska number 56. The time is 11:30 a.m. So we'll be starting by 11:30 a.m. on the dot. There is no African time. So an event will only last for 2 hours. So we'll start by 11:30 a.m. and end by 1:30 a.m. So I will be very, very happy if you see so many people here and more people there on that day. Tickets? There are no tickets, it's free. It's just, yeah, date 7th April, next week Saturday. Thank you. Other announcements, Igbo Day will be on the 13th of March. And secondly, there's a billiard competition. Those of you that know how to play billiard, it's organized by Poker.Entertainment. Pascal is there, so just meet him. Rumba Club upstairs. It's going to be really nice.
Okay, please clap for them. Tell down the announcement. If you will, maybe you can put in your CBO. Okay, now forum for questions. We don't really have time, so maybe the first 3 questions will be okay. Okay, for our presentation and for, okay, please, the lady, let me start with ladies first. No, I'll bring it back to you. Just introduce yourself a little bit.
My name is Kim. Actually, I don't have a question. I just have a slight contribution to the resume thing. Because from my knowledge, there's a difference between resume and CV. And the difference is the content and the length. Usually, a resume is brief and shorter. It's like 1 page. But the CV is usually longer. And it contains all this like research and all those stuff. And usually, if you're applying for something like master's or further education, you should use a CV. But if you're applying for some jobs, they actually request for a resume. So if they request for a resume, it's appropriate to submit a resume and not a CV. Because a resume is like, I'm just going to, in layman terms, it's just like the difference between a story and the summary of a story. The resume is like a summary of all the skills you acquired, while the CV is a long details.
Please clap for her. Okay. So we'll give Nomani. Please introduce yourself.
You have already. My name is Emmanuel. Let's focus. Okay. Please, my question is on. I have 2 questions here. One, Pastor Daniel, you talked about delay in destiny, that's career delay. Please, I want you to elaborate more on whose side is this delay coming from? Will it probably come from? Is it from me hoping for this job, or from the company or the employees? The employers that I'm expecting to give me this job. And again, Pastor Marachi, you talked about the things you want to change in Nigeria. Yeah, which I know that each and one of us patriotic Nigerians will also have many things to change. But then we talked about things we've learned here, that is time, keeping to time. So in this juncture, I want to really express my anger or unhappiness on the speakers. You guys really did not encourage us by coming very late, actually. Yeah. And then again, I want to know, please, how can we stop this late stop? How can we stop it first here? Yeah, how can we stop it here? Please, I want to hear that. How can we stop it here? Please, 1 hour. Yeah, let me tell us, this coming late, this late you guys have come, it has caused a lot of damage.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. She will answer the question. Okay. What's your name?
My name is Ayola Delano Ismail from Technical University. I want to contribute on actual skills. Actually, I'll use my field of discipline as an example. So many people believe that the computer science student should know how to format system. For instance, you should be able to write a program for you to cheat on the examination board, things like that. But actually, not really. What they actually what they teach us in the university, just introduction to those things. So if call your friend, for instance, please format my system, and said no, I don't really have idea. How come computer science can format a system? But these things are additional skills that we try to get outside the class. Like some of us, we are so lucky that we acquired this skill before we came to a point. So, but some of us, they try to gather these skills. they meet their friend, please teach me. Another example is a medical student here. He called me and they please, I want to know how to design a website. I said, wow, how to design a website? Okay. And the guy is doing well actually now, and I'm very sure that he's going to put it in his CV. So.
Okay, the last. Okay, you'll be the last. You'll be the last. Yes, introduce yourself.
David. Actually, mine is not a question, it's just a contribution.
Okay.
I believe we're here to learn. And the most important thing I picked out of what the speakers said was what you just said. The topic is very, very interesting because most of us will get back to our countries, Nigeria, Ghana, they won't get to ask you to solve maths or to do something at that point. The first thing you can do to show people the kind of person you are is how you can address them. And the thing I'm trying to add to what Chidi said is, if you think for now you're still scared of talking to people or facing people, you should just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. I remember when I came to Ukraine in 2007, Chidi used to be my Secretary General. Then I can't stand people. I can't face crowd. I can't address people. But with time, come on, I can do that. So this is very, very important. We should pick from this program. The fact that we're going to go back home and we can't even stand people back in Nigeria. You understand?
Okay.
Hi everyone. I come from Pakistan. I just come here about a month back, and my question is I definitely don't want to go back to my country. I mean, it's not that I don't like it, but the situation over there is just so dangerous. Every day there's bombing happening, people dying. So I would like to know can we find work over here? And the question basically is, how will we transition from a student visa to a work visa? And has anyone done it before?
Okay.
Because I don't see anyone.
Since there are a lot of contributions, we take one last question. This is the last. A contribution. Who has the question? Question. Okay, last question. Wait, who has a contribution? Let me see your hands. One. So many. 1, 2, 3. Pero, since you've spoken, I'll take just these 3. But your contribution will come after the answers. We'll see whether we'll have time. Okay, the last question.
Okay, I want to address Mr. Chief. He mentioned something about facing public and speaking. Okay, there are some crowds that you talk to that you have to interact with them and then they will respond back to you. And then sometimes you get unsatisfactory remarks from comments from the audience you're talking to. How do you react to that? How do you cope with that?
Question closed. Okay, who is ready to answer? Okay, please clap for him.
Thank you very much. It's very, very common. It's not something that is rare that sometimes speakers go to some places and they speak and the response they get is not good. Now, there are various factors that can cause that. One of the factors is, like I said before, saying something you should have said at that point. Example, if I go to Manchester in UK and I'm in Manchester and I know that in Manchester City you are either a Man U fan or a Man City fan, and I'm called upon to give a speech to talk about something, and I go to that, I go to the podium and I begin to flaunt Chelsea because I'm a Chelsea fan. Now, the very best response I will get from sports fans is to start throwing things at me and bullying me. Because one, if I'm a good speaker, when I get to Man City, I become a Manchester fan. If I want to follow the crowd, when I get there, I become a fan of that team. Wherever I am, I'm the fan. I support them. You don't go against them. Now, when you say some things that are reasonable and you did not say anything, and someone just throws something at you or says something at you or makes a remark that is personal or that is not relevant to, it's not your fault. As a good speaker, you don't address that. You just continue your speech. I think there are people that can address it. You don't get angry and walk out of the podium and say, somebody threw something at me or somebody said something that is bad. If you're a good speaker, you maintain what you're doing. And that is, it makes the person foolish. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. If I go to right, it's as regards one of the challenges a visionary will face. I don't know, is that correct? I think, okay, delay. I think I added an adjective, delay in the bliss of what you desire to see. More like the fruits. That's a possible challenge that faces every visionary. And I give an illustration as regards, for instance, in a career you want to get a job, you shouldn't expect to get the bumper pay at your first employment. That's for the person seeking employment. Then if you were to be an entrepreneur, you shouldn't look out to get the large-scale profit at your first venture. I don't know if I'm getting you. Did I get you? So the delay wouldn't be from you, and it's the system, because you're introducing something new. So people have to be familiar with it. I don't have all the time. I would have explained to you the principle, the psychology behind introducing a new idea in an old system. Thank you. You could see me.
You can see him later. You can see him later. He will explain. Okay. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Talking about time, I would say time is life. And if you tell me what you're doing now, I can actually predict what will happen in the next 10 years of your life. So what you do every second, every minute, every hour is what actually will eventually get to, you to your destination, where you're going to in life. So the question is, what are you doing with your time right now? That would depend, that would go a long way to show what will happen to you tomorrow. And firstly, I want to start by saying, I'm so sorry for showing up late for the meeting. And on behalf, I'm apologizing.
Thank you.
Not to you, I just want to say, so I really apologize, and I hope it won't happen again. But trying to solve it, I think it's all about being conscious of time, understanding the value of time, what time is all about, both on a personal note and a public note. If you're going to come late for a meeting, call the management and let them know with a very good reason, and I think some of us did that. Thank you very much.
Please clap for her. She says she's sorry. Clap for her. Okay, as for you, from Pakistan, I think your question will be better answered by Ukrainians. And I think we have Ukrainians here, right? No? From us? We can answer it. Okay. I also have an answer, but I want...
You give the answer you have.
I should give the answer I have?
But you know how you can give.
Okay, so who answered it? Do you want to answer it?
I give the answer I have too.
Oh, okay. But don't you think we should ask them first? No? No? Okay, please help us.
Thank you. Well, not only to him, but it's, I don't know much about the laws of this country, but what I know is it's more of, sometimes finding an opportunity. For example, like, I don't know, all those who know Alibaba, Shawarma. He's not Ukrainian. I know probably by now he has a Ukrainian passport. But I spoke to him, I asked him, where did you school? He said he schooled in Odessa. What did you learn? I studied engineering. But I didn't want to ask him why you are making shawarma. But it was an opportunity, because you find out that in this city, how many shawarma places do you have? How many have survived over the years? Since I've been here for like 5 years, and it's the only place like I can say that it's a shawarma place owned by him. It's an opportunity. He made use of opportunity in Ternopil. There are so many shawarma places in Odessa, because Odessa has maybe a larger community who take in that kind of food as something new to Ternopil. It's more of looking around to see what opportunity you have. Another classic example, there's this newspaper, the Kyiv Post newspaper. It's in Kyiv. It's like the largest English language newspaper in Ukraine. To interest you to know that it's owned by a Pakistani. How did he get it? Well, he found out that, people rely on it. The paper was going bankrupt. He used his money to buy out the paper. And he has his legal stay here. And so many other instances. Like, there are a lot of opportunities here, but it's like the system over here is kind of restricts you. But you knowing what the laws say about the country and how you fit in will also help you in a long way. So I hope I've helped you.
So, number one, you know the laws. Then two, you find an opportunity. You have to scan right and find an opportunity that you'll be able to fit in. So that's important. We will not talk more on that because we have some contributions, and I'll start from. I promised you a contribution, so.
Not really a contribution. I want to please apologize for coming very, very late. And on behalf of other speakers, I was in a fix. It was unavoidable. That's why. I was supposed to present something or so, but I prepared, but I could not avoid what happened. And if every one of us begins to tell our own story while we are late, you will have reasons to admit with us too, please. Very much. On lateness, it's I would say it's a cancer of we Africans. It's into us. None of my classmates are here. I can boast. It's very, very hard. I go late to classes. I like to keep to time. If I tell you 5 minutes and you don't come 5 minutes, I might go. But that thing, it's cancerous. It's inside us, and for us to cleanse it, we have to start individually working on ourselves. When some people say 5 minutes, they don't know what is 5 minutes. 5 minutes is 60 seconds times 5. Please, try and know limits. When you tell somebody, I'm on the phone, 1 minute I'll be with you. It's wrong. It's wrong. You're supposed to say, I'm coming soon, or in 2 or please.
Okay, over to you.
Good evening, everybody. Okay, I just have a little contribution to public speaking. I know public speaking is about communication, and it would be good if we acquire some other communication skills, like sign languages, in case we meet people that are not able to hear or speak. So we could use those other skills that we acquire to reach out to them. Thank you.
Okay, I want to contribute on the aspect of working with time. If every churches in this Ukraine, all the pastors, most of them are here, and the leader of SCS, and president of associations, and class reps, if everybody will come together and agree that once the program is 2 o'clock, be it 3 persons, they start that program, trust me, people will start picking up. That means leading by example. So the leaders has a lot to do. Then on the aspect of
It's a contribution, please. Wow. It's a contribution.
On the aspect of public speaking, it depends on how exposed you are in learning things. Because me back then in Nigeria, I used to be a class rep in Nigeria. All this guy, and all this stuff. It's not learned. So you find yourself vulnerable when it comes to other learned programs. So when I came here, I started, and God helped me. So if you find yourself maybe always in a place where you drink or something like that, you find yourself vulnerable when it comes to things of like all this political stuff, all these class and programs. So you should try to associate, put yourself somewhere to be productive in your society. Then on the aspect of yeah, please, this one is very, very important. In Nigeria, my country, some bad things have become culture. So it's very hard for we upcoming youths to deviate from it. Like when you come in a company and try to say this is true, this is not true, your guy wants to take, you look very, very odd because you are saying the truth. So all you have to do is to go with the flow. Please, we should stand our feet. When you say you see bad, you call it bad. When you see good, you call it good. No matter what it is.
I know the people. 1 minute, please.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I want to talk about basically public speaking. First of all, no matter maybe during your process of making speeches in public or addressing a group of people, I think it is very, very important because there are some congregation or people you address that they watch out for how many mistakes you make in English terms, or your body gestures during making the speech, how you use the mic, or how you do. So most times it's very expedient for us to make a note of, if you are pre-invited for the program, it's very important you make a note or a list of how you want to make the speech, how you want to say it, so you follow it in order. And if it comes in a situation whereby you were not told earlier you want to make a speech, you don't have to speak very fast so that people won't notice the pressure in you and lose concentration. Then secondly, in terms of exposure, skills, and knowledge, I want to just arrange them in order. I think knowledge is the first thing that you get, second to exposure. Then together with these two, you develop your skills, and those order it goes in our everyday life. Thank you.
Yes, I got to the last.
My name is Bates. I'm from medical school. There's something in IRPM, Industrial Relation and Personnel Management. We believe in... sorry, I did something like that in Nigeria. There's a process of getting things done for other people. In every organization, you can't just come into a place of power trying to change everything. There's an hierarchy. So you have to be able to go with the hierarchy. So by the time you get into the place of power, you can make influences. So there's a place of learning. There's something we call on and off the job training. So at every point, we should always be ready to learn. So we can't just come and try and impose things on people. We need to be patient and wait for the opportunity to come. I don't have any much to say than that. Thank you.
Okay. You?
I'm Daniel Eugene. How to contribute to the public speaking presentation is very, very okay for me, and it's helpful. But what I want to contribute to it is many of us, we talk at times, we can't face the crowd. When we are asked to come and talk in public, we tend to being like this, and because I don't want to, in the history of, we can't even face the people we are talking to. I think if we should emulate that like behavior of facing the crowd, facing the people we're talking to, like making them to look into our faces, you know, they will be encouraged that, oh, this person is really talking to me. It's not that we should be bowing down our head that, oh, this and this, this and that. I'll move on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I wanted to add something. Now, in public speaking, there are some other skills you acquire. All I'm trying to say is some of us here will become politicians. Some of us here will get into campaigns. Now, if you want to have an edge, there's, for example, if you are going in Nigeria, we have different zones. If you are going to the north, I think if you are campaigning, you dress like the north now. Last year, when they were having the last presidential campaign we had, His Excellency Mr. Jonathan went to Kano City and he was talking to locals in the very local government, and he was speaking in English. And there was no interpreter. Everywhere, people were quiet, people were silent, they didn't understand him. But immediately now, when this sample took the mic, he switched to Hausa. And when he began to, when he started speaking, people started shouting because they did not understand what Jonathan was saying. And he didn't have an interpreter, but they understood sample. Now, when you dress in the attire of that people, the first thing they see you is acceptance. Maybe they see you, if I'm Igbo, I'm Igbo. If I'm going to Ogun State and I'm saying I want to represent my culture, it is not appropriate if I want to do something like campaign. I dress in that attire. So when people of Ogun State see me, the first thing they say, wow, he has already accepted us. And they begin to give you audience. Now, the second thing you do when you speak also is your gesture. You have to be very, very cautious of your gesture. Because some of us have nice wristwatches, some of us have gold chain, beautiful ones, and when you're talking, you're touching the chain. And when you're talking, your watch is, you're doing your hand like this, and people are distracted trying to see the inside of the watch, trying to see that kind of. So if you're a public speaker, most times, that's why I see most public speakers stay at the point. It's not because they like staying there, or because they don't want to distract their crowd from whatever they're wearing or whatever they think they are doing. So if you have your wristwatch and you're doing like this, someone is trying to see, is that, what kind of wrist is that? And they're finding the design. So just make sure that you watch, and you have to learn some other skills. If it's necessary you learn a language, or some phrases, or some sentences in the language, it's better. I know of maybe former President J.J. Wallace of Ghana. If he's going to any region, he will always try to speak something in that language. Maybe it's not from there. If he's going to the northern region of the Cape, he will try to say something in that dialect. What happens? It gives him duration and gives people attention. So that is other things you acquire as a speaker.
Just to add to that, I watched a Julia Roberts movie, and in that movie she was a teacher teaching on public speaking. So I just want to contribute to that. She pointed the importance of anchor points. When you talk, you shouldn't talk to and just face, like I'm a guy now, I just face one cheek. She might get the wrong impression. Like, I really like her. You should have anchor points, like move from one point, look here. As you move, you look at this point, communicate with your audience. It's really
Actually, that's my secret. That's my secret to public speaking. The truth of the matter is, I've been privileged to mount on several stages. My largest capacity so far is 5,000 people I've spoken to. But every time I go to the stage, the first 5 minutes is hell for me, even today. So, like you said, the anchor point, I don't see anybody's face. The field of vision is wide. I just see nothing. You understand? That's the first step. Then I make sure I don't just see that one thing in a particular time. I move around. And in the next 5 minutes, I'm settled. So it's a very, very, I was waiting until after the whole contribution I said it, but since he has said it, no problem. Okay, I'll give room for one more contribution. Okay, thank you.
I'm Charles from Economic University. I want to contribute something small to the writing of CV. Like mostly we end up writing CVs that looks like we are pleading or lobbying for the work. Instead, we are supposed to write a CV in a way that will exhibit how the company cannot do without employing you. In short, our CVs are supposed to display how the company needs us, not how we need the company or we need the company.
Okay. I have questions for you guys, but before that, one final, please.
Okay, I was going to say something. I'm so sorry. Of course, I will appreciate the organizers, but then the presentation on the CV, can we have it like sent to our mail or on Flash or on disk or something?
Yeah, it will be available on the NC website from on Monday. Yeah. You can download it. It will be in
yeah, there's another thing I just want to say, please. The guy who was talking about if you want to stay in Ukraine and people were talking about speaking and everything, sometimes you need to pick a mentor. You have to ask someone you have to follow. Now, if you want to stay here, why don't you go and ask people who were once foreigner and they stayed here? How do you do it? You want to be a speaker, why don't you go and look for people that, of course, you can't tell me you don't like some speaker. You talk about Julia Roberts, but maybe you like her. Then you can learn from them. Then climb on their shoulder and move forward. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. I hope we are all learning something. We are learning something, right? Sure. Okay, good. My first question is this. I can swim. Yes, I can swim. And now that I'm in Ukraine, I can speak English, Ukrainian, and Russian. So, should I put additional languages as Ukrainian and Russian, right? And swimming as added skills in my CV? Is it important? Is it significant? Okay. If you want to answer, let me see your answer. One, okay. Two, okay. Only two people. Three, okay. And the person will talk about the CV will round up. Starting from, please. If I say 1 minute, I mean 1 minute. Starting from, no, 1 minute is too much. 45 seconds.
Yeah, it's necessary. just like he rightly explained about language, it's very, very important for translation purposes. And then the swinging, you put it more in a resume, because that's the actual difference between a resume and a CV. There is more of your skills. So swinging is very necessary depending on the job.
Please, clap for you.
Well, I strongly believe it depends on the type of job you're applying to. Because if you're applying to be an economist in a bank, you don't need your swimming skills. If you're looking for a summer job in the US, you can apply. You can write that in your resume. You can get a job as a lifesaver. It depends on the job when you apply.
Okay, I think I counted 3 people. Okay, yes. Sorry.
Okay, I think it's okay because, for example, I know somebody who has a job because of he can speak French, and he has a trip because he knows how to swim.
Please, clap for him. So, I will get your point on this point, Detali. Okay, finally, do you have anything to say other than what you said already?
Well, they basically both said, emphasized on the same points. Like I said in the presentation, the skills you put in your CV should be relevant to the job you're applying to. That is the key word, relevant to the job you're applying to. You have loads of skills. If you are putting all your skills there, you probably write a book. But what is relevant to what you're applying to is what is important. If, let's say, you're applying to a job probably in California, right, where you know there's a lot of beaches and etc., and you are also very good with your French and Russian, you know it's a rich tourist area, you can add your proficiency in French and Russian and also add your ability to swim, and that will do the trick for you.
Please, clap for him, clap for him, clap for him. Question? Okay.
Sorry, I want to know the difference between talent and skill.
Talent and what?
Skill.
Alright. Actually, I read about this just a few days ago, so I think I'm in a position to talk about it. Talent is something raw, something that you're born with. You know, you're born with your talent, so it's something that you know how to, that you're naturally good at doing. And well, talent fades. That's what I read. But skill is something you develop with time. You get it? So with time, you learn this, that, and you sharpen your skills. And talent, skills can be learned, but talents are not learned. And talent usually fades when it's not nourished.
I was reading one blog. They said the difference between Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo is Lionel Messi is a talent. Cristiano Ronaldo is a skill. Okay. Any more questions? Okay. I have one question for you. I have a friend in Kyiv. She was making a presentation and she choked. She never came back again. So, if you are in such a situation, what will you do? Like, because of fright. So, if you are in such a situation, what will you do?
Come back again.
Okay, clap for him. He said he'll come back again. Okay, who will go? Who will not come back? I want to see. Be sincere. Be sincere. Okay, I'm also good in statistics. 90 to 95% of cases, in 90 to 95% of cases, that situation is solved by what? A bottle of water. Clap for me now. Clap for me. It's solved by a bottle of water. So, if peradventure you're part of the organization, just take water to the person, give the person should come back. It will not only solve the choking, but to refresh the person. So, choking is not a problem. Yes. Okay. Yep. And a deep breath. Yes, and a deep breath. Thank you very much. Okay. I don't think I have any further question. What? Question? Okay, let me just, please.
Does spirituality actually have a place for our future?
Sorry, come here.
Spirituality, does it have an important role to play in understanding your career or pursuing your career in the future?
Who answered? Okay, oh, thank you very much. In fact, please clap for him for showing me. We have them here. Okay, somebody wanted to ask a question again. Please, I want to finish this question section. Because we don't have time again.
Good evening. Actually, my question is just like an observation and a question. Actually, we'll not be talking about, we'll just be talking about how a medical student will be this, will be that, will be this. I think I'm kind of lost. Actually, there's nothing like a basic business plan, a business strategy, how to attain something, or how you can actually make your company great, or your country great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Initially, okay, somebody will answer, but maybe somebody stressed that, somebody brought about that. Actually, what we are here is just the basics. Some may use medicine because they're in the medical field. What we are here is just to know the basics. You can apply it in medicine. You can, like the CV we talked about now, you can apply it in medicine, you can apply it in whatever field you are. The getting exposure, the getting experience is applicable to everything. Some may use illustration in the medical field, maybe because they are very, very familiar to medicine, but it's applicable. A situation where any point mentioned here is not applicable in your field at all, then please, you can call us to stress out the points, then we'll give answers. That's the essence of the question and answer. So maybe if there's a specific part, bring out more specificity. Throw it to the floor, we'll answer it. Okay, I called, somebody wanted to, in this place. So, no?
I want to answer.
You wanted to answer? Yeah, answer now.
Okay, in respect to Mr. Devo's question, actually, the basic point, this is life after school anyway, so I think the basic points everyone touched here was, should I say, core aspects of everyone's future. You know, there are some puzzles that you need to put in place for you to be able to handle a bigger stage. And like some people are actually avoiding presentation. But I think there's no, for anyone that have a zeal or a long to be a very big man or lead in future, cannot avoid presentation. It's like, so there are some, these things, public speaking, these are things that you put in place that will make you face the stage. When you be in the conference room, the conference with round table of board of directors presenting your new idea or your new technology or your new system or what they call medical stocks. So these are the things you put in place for you to be able to meet those things.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, please don't get too tired. In the next 15 minutes, there's refreshments outside. We will soon close. Let me take that as the last. You want to say something? Cool. You.
In respect to Manuel's question, that is spirituality really needed in our career. I think what we should pray for is a bit of luck. We need that in our lifetime.
I'm just going to make a different point from everything I'm talking about here. I've been talking about life after school, and these days the labor market is very, very difficult, and there are so many competitions. And as students, there are a lot of things that we need to do, like, for instance, we're doing our bachelor's, some are doing masters. Already there are so many people who have master's degrees, bachelor's degrees. Okay, an example is last week Saturday in Nigeria, ExxonMobil had an employment exam. But when the people who applied for the job got there, people who had from 2-1 and above second class offer and bachelor's, when they got there were too many. And they told them, if you don't have your master's degree, or if you're not doing your master's degree, just go back home. And okay, the result to that is that as we're doing our bachelor's degrees, in medical field, in economics field, in computer sciences and so on, we should try as much as possible to try to get some extra qualifications like some certification exams because they play a huge role in giving you the edge over others in the employment market. Thank you very much.
Oh, now we have so many hands. Okay, wait, okay. Let me see if we have time, but let's attend to a question that was asked.
All right, thank you very much. Spirituality. Okay. Spirituality is actually a very vast topic. I want to say that spirituality is based on your belief system, your thought system. All humans are more or less spiritual, directly or indirectly. Now, like I said, it depends on your beliefs. I'm a Christian. They say that whatever you believe works for you. I'm a Christian. And I walk based on my belief as a Christian. A Muslim walk based on his belief as an Islam. And from Islam's teaching. A Hindu walk as from other system. Now for us, it depends on what you believe. Depends on what I believe. And so there's no general note. I don't believe there's any general note that will tell you that because in the Bible says, before you were born, I knew thee. I foreknew thee. And I have set you like this. And I go to tell a Hindu that before you were born, God knows you. Like he has his own thought system. I have my thought system. As a Christian, I believe that my spirituality, my God has a plan and purpose for my life. A Hindu has his own belief. A Muslim has his own belief. So, career actually is more or less a thing of choice. On a general note, you say career is a thing of choice. It's not a thing of spirituality. Because everyone that is a doctor, everyone that is an economist, some people don't even believe in God. Some people believe in nature, and yet they are still doing well in their career. So spirituality is not a total, it depends on your belief system actually. It's not a total issue that you say generalize, that is spirituality a role in your career. No, because we all have different thought systems. Thank you very much.
Spirituality, the general note, spirituality is you connecting with yourself. You connecting with yourself. But from the beginning part of this workshop, as one of our guest speakers explained, your career is what? Connecting to people, solving problems. You understand? Solving problems. So, the way I see it, that's what we call this contribution. The way I see it, your spirituality does not take you to your career or to the height of your career, even though at times it determines. Because what makes a medical practitioner still be a businessman and still be in politics and is doing fine, the three of them, different from another medical practitioner who is not even doing well in medicine, I think is the belief system, the belief on themselves, and spirituality takes part in that. So, we shouldn't channel spirituality to religion, various religions, but is... You want to say something? Okay, please.
Thank you. Spirituality affects your future. Why do I say this? Because all of the various spiritual religions teach on hard work. They teach on honesty. They teach on getting life better for the populace. So whichever way you have believed in, it has a role to play on you for your future. As regards, if I'm a Muslim, a true Muslim wouldn't cheat on people. He wouldn't steal from the government. A true Christian wouldn't do the same. A Hindu who is faithful to the teaching, a Buddhist, in fact, a Rosicrucian, will be faithful, will be honest, will be people-oriented, in fact, will be credible. So that's why I believe that your future, the spirituality has something to do with you and your future. So it's your relationship, your response to your spiritual beliefs that have to help mar or make your future. Thank you.
You see what? Okay, that will be the last we take today.
Last.
Thank you very much. Yes. To me, I believe spirituality does not just play a role, it plays the role. It depends on every individual. Your own definition of success might be different from my own definition of success. And spirituality, to me, is not your own connection to self, it's your own connection to God. I believe that there's a reason in which God has actually made me. And if I fail to connect with God in knowing my future and actually achieving that future, I have failed. But by the world system, I might be so good, I might be so knowledgeable, and still miss out the important point. So spirituality it plays the major role, not just a role. Thank you.
No, last. It's last. Okay. Okay. Based on the ground, our community chairman. Sorry, sir.
Sorry, I'm asking my question very late, but I want to ask based on the answers they gave on spirituality. Okay, it's a question I want to ask. What if we have atheists that doesn't believe in God, doesn't believe in spirituality? I know a lot of them that are way successful in their career. So how do we tally this?
First and foremost, like I said before, like it's your thought system. Spirituality is different from religion. Please, spirituality is different from religion. Now, even in atheists, I want to go by what it says. When I was speaking, I said before that there's no standard rule. It depends on your thought system. It depends on what you believe in. So whether you're a Christian, Muslim, if you believe it plays a role for you, it works. Now, when you're attributing spirituality to God, some people are spiritual, but they don't believe in God. Some people believe in animals and they're spiritual. Some people believe in natural things and they're spiritual. So if I want to go by general definition of spirituality, it is not God. It's not involving God. Not all religions believe in God, something called God. So that is why I'm saying that spirituality is your thought system. So atheists have a thought system also. Now they say that atheists are one of the best or one of the good people in life because the atheist teaching teaches you to be real, to be humane, to be devoid of evil, to work with life, to work with nature, the law of karma, don't do this, don't do evil, and things like that. So it's your thought system. For a Christian, God defines your future. That's what most Christians believe in. For somebody else that is not a Christian, you work with the thought system. How they grew up, what they believe in, is actually what works for you. You can be successful without believing in God. Yes, some people declare openly that they don't know who God is, and they're successful. So success, if I want to be spiritual, I will tell you that God gives good success and not success. And that's me being a Christian. So on a general note, spirituality is what you define it. Spirituality is your thought system, how you understand your relationship. Thank you very much.
Please, let's clap for ourselves. This is the final. Let's clap. I can see your time. So, we will now call on the NC chairman to give his closing remark, and then we'll close for the day. Please clap for him.
Good evening. Okay. Please, I hope you guys wrote your names because that's the only way we can give you your certificates. If your name is not on that paper, we will not be able to give you. Special appreciations to the moderator, Mr. Makama. God bless you very much. I'm really glad. On behalf of the executive body of the Nigerian community, I want to thank our special guests, all of you, and Mr. Teddy also, although he came late, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Abiodun, Miss Amara, this is public speaking. Miss Amara and Mr. Chidi. I left some two special people out, but I really appreciate them. Doctor, I call him Doctor, though he's not a doctor. Dr. Ken Awaniapon and Dr. Ahmed Futa. These guys are my group mates, so very intelligent people. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. That is on behalf of the executive body of the Nigerian community. And on behalf of myself, me personally, I want to thank my executives. Please let me thank these people. They made everything look easy. At 2 o'clock, my PRO called me. 2 o'clock in the morning, we had normal past sleeping. That's when he was distributing flyers. My general secretary, Mr. Troy Osumbo,
God bless you very much. My friend said he has been taking pictures since I don't know where he is now. So God bless you. Mr. Bisoli, God bless you very much. And my vice chairman, the only lady in our midst, God bless you. Officially, I declare this thing closed. There's refreshment outside. Take it to your satisfaction as much as you want. God bless you. Bye-bye.